When I first qualified, it was very much about doing sight tests, and gradually over the 16 years in practice there's been new things coming in, like minor eye condition services, where you don't have to do a refraction, you just focus on the problem that a person's come in with. So I've decided to upskill, I've decided to do some personal development, and last year I took the WOPEC Minor Eye Conditions MEX course, and I'm currently partway through the first module as an independent prescriber at Aston University, whilst working full-time in practice. And hopefully, if I can get through that and get through all the exams at the end, I'll be using those skills in practice as part of a minor eye condition service, but also prescribing privately for patients as well. I was seeing patients, I was having them referred to me by GPs, recognising that I had the equipment to look at things that they couldn't because they didn't have a slit lamp in GP practice. There were conditions coming in that didn't really need an ophthalmologist. A lot of the people coming in with minor eye conditions could be seen using the core skills that we all learnt at university. I decided to upskill so that once I've seen those people, I could then actually treat them as well and not just diagnose and refer them on to somebody else. I was a little bit jealous, having been to an American conference and seen how everybody over there is a therapeutic optometrist. And I've just thought, I should be able to do that. I can now. That we've got legislation that allows optometrists to do that now. So I felt a little bit that there's a shift in optometry to being more primary care healthcare providers rather than just refractors. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't get left behind in that way. I think it's quite a daunting prospect to become IP trained, just because there's university modules, and if it's been a while since you've done any real study, well, I certainly thought, am I capable still of sucking up information in the way I could when I was 18? And actually it turns out I'm really enjoying it, and the information is sticking, and it's just setting this time aside and really concentrating on something. It does take a fair amount of time. And that's one of the barriers to doing it, I think, is the fact that it will take you study time. And once you've qualified with it, are you actually going to be able to use it? Is your employer going to support you? Fortunately, I'm in a situation where the employer's really been on board and is happy to do so. It's going to require some time out of practice. I'm going to have to spend some time in a hospital eye clinic as well. So that's going to have an impact on the practice because I physically won't be there. But overall, the end goal is that we will have hopefully a heightened reputation in the community, because we'll be able to deal with eye problems on the high street at a convenient time for patients. I'm still on the first leg of the journey at the moment, but already I do feel like I've levelled up a bit already. I've gained skills, certainly research skills, that I didn't realise that I didn't have. And I've learnt an awful lot, and I'm actually approaching optometry slightly differently, a slightly different outlook already, just from learning what I've learned. It's been fascinating. Once I'm qualified, there's hopefully going to be a sense of personal well-being, because I'll be able to help people there and then. If they need treatment, I'll be able to prescribe it. On the flip side of that, there's also probably going to be a few sleepless nights when I prescribe my first eye drops. Have I got the diagnosis right? Have I prescribed the right thing? Was it what I thought it was? So there's an increased level of responsibility, which I'm sort of looking forward to, but also a little bit worried about. I'm also going to be quite pleased in that there's only one other person in my local vicinity who's doing independent prescribing. It's not a service that people will be able to get in every single optician, so I quite like the feeling of that I might be able to stand out. If you're employed by somebody, I think it's important that they're on board with you. One, spending time out of practice. Two, spending time seeing all the minor eye conditions patients who come through the door, who won't necessarily be dispensing sales. There will be clinical patients. In our practice, I think we like to take this sort of wider view that all those clinical patients, if you look after somebody, they then recommend their friends, family. Next thing you know, their sons and daughters are coming in as well. So we like to take that wider sort of view in our practice, that it's practice building to be able to offer good service. And I think being an independent prescriber is allowing you to offer a good service. I don't think independent prescribing is necessarily for everybody. Not everybody wants to put the effort in of the course in the first place. Not everybody wants the increased level of responsibility of then having to prescribe and treat. You've got to be enthusiastic about it, and you've got to be prepared to put in time and effort and take on the learning that you're going to have to do ongoing as well. There's going to be a lot of time and effort involved in continuing education and training. You can't possibly know it all ever. You've got to be a little bit brave to take on that extra challenge, I think.